Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Sarah and I'm a writer based out of Philadelphia, and this is sort of the second part to the first update that I posted a few days ago, where I let you guys know about some of the big decisions I made. Like, I'm also a small business owner and I've been in business for the past 3 years and recently decided to close my online store, Hayred Shop LLC, which is an online thrift store where you can find handmade, secondhand, and vintage goods. That was a really big decision for me. Outside of that, just trying to get into a routine here, learn more about the city. I went to the Reading Terminal Market. That was super intense. As soon as I walked in, I forgot to record anything. I just walked around with some friends. We got something to eat. I got a Reuben with coleslaw on it and a grilled sticky bun, which I've never had before, but so good, so good. I had such a good time. It's definitely a place that I would visit because there's so much to see and so much to eat there. There's a fresh grocer, and then there's every stand under the sun. You can get coffee, you can get barbecue. So just be prepared for huge crowds and lack of seating. You definitely want to get your eyes on an empty table or booth as you're walking around. So that was so much fun. The food was great. I left so full and happy. It was such a great time. But in general, I just do a lot of walking, just walking the city, people watching, and just getting a feel for how the city operates at certain times of the day. And at home, I'm just trying to stay organized here. Now that I've decided to close the shop, it has put so many other wheels in motion. So now I'm trying to sell off my inventory my entire inventory before the end of the year. So that's happening. I'm also getting rid of a lot of stuff from my personal collection and my closet. So that's a whole other thing. Anybody who sells anything online knows that it's a whole other job to make sure that you're taking really good photos or really good videos and writing thorough descriptions and making sure that you're checking each profile that your account is on. And I have several. I've cross-promoted everything. So that's really been eating up a lot of my time. In addition to that, and YouTube, of course, I'm also a movie blogger. So I've been writing movie reviews and posting them on my blog, Eating Films. So if you guys are interested, feel free to check that out. And, just getting acclimated at work. Some of the slow living things that I've been doing is, I will say, slow living is hard. I know this is silly to say that, but some YouTubers make it seem so easy and seamless, and it's like, no, you have to make your life, you kind of have to design it around those things, because I noticed that during the week, I just don't feel like I have enough time, because my days start very early and they end like in the late afternoon. I feel like I don't really have enough time to fit in everything that I want to get done. So when I come home, I'm looking for things that I've already pre-made for myself as far as food. So I'll have like salads already made, a casserole, pasta, big dishes that are easy to set aside and come back to. Experimenting with food is not something that I typically do on a regular basis, or finding different ways to make domestic chores like fun or pleasurable. So on the weekends, I'll take a little extra time and decide, I'm going to try out another recipe. That's an ongoing process. I love salads. I do. I feel like salads are great because you can combine, there's endless ways to combine fresh vegetables, fruit, nuts, cheese, whatever. So I just finished making what I think is a particularly lovely salad. It's just some spring mix, cucumber, yellow pepper, because I love yellow pepper, some shredded pepper jack cheese, because I like a little spice, and green onions. Normally I put red onions in, but I used all the red onions in my pickling jar, and they're not ready yet, so decided to go with some green onions that I had in the refrigerator, and I think it looks pretty good. And it is an easy way to experiment with different flavors and that kind of thing. So I made a really great salad recently, just adding different ingredients than my norm, and it was so good. I just had to share it here with you all. Also, I started loading up on my ginger tea again because I could feel a little something happening. I think it's because the weather is cooling down. I don't know. And I love to combine ginger, like fresh, raw ginger, lemon, and lime together with a little bit of honey. It's so spicy and so tart, but it's so good. I highly recommend it. So as you all know, I just moved a few months ago, so I'm still in the organizing, decorating process. So I found a credenza that I really love. I think it's an antique. You guys let me know. It's huge and it has a lot of space for storage, which is great. So I decided to try to find something a bit more modern for other storage needs, because this place has very little storage and it's mostly in the kitchen area. So I'm looking for other kinds of storage options, and I found this shoe cabinet on Wayfair, and you guys know Wayfair is great. They offer free shipping on a lot of their stuff, and you can buy a lot of different brands. I get the cabinet, spend several hours putting it together, and it's one of those things where there are a lot of snaps and a lot of folding metal over things. And when I was almost done, I realized that it was not going to, the parts were not going to fit together. So then I contacted Wayfair, contacted the manufacturer, didn't end up working, had to take the whole thing apart, pack the whole thing up, and send the whole thing back. So then I decided to order a few smaller storage and organizational things from MoMa. And MoMA, you guys may recognize as the modern art museum, but they also have a store where they sell a lot of really cool items, some furniture, home decor, lighting stuff, a lot of stuff from small businesses, puzzles, candles, whatever. I love the store. I love to look around and see what they've got in there. One of the brands that I've seen a lot for their organizational pieces is called Hey. I think they're Danish. There's just these little crates or bins made out of recycled materials, and they come in these really cool pastel colors, and I was like, yeah, I'll get some of those, and that will help keep me organized until I find a better solution. Because when you have no storage for things that you typically have storage for, it can be very difficult. And at this point, I'm in the place where whatever I get, I plan on keeping. It's not something where I'll just buy something really cheap and then sell or get rid of it and upgrade. So I bought a couple of those colorful crates from Hey. You know what? Let me grab it. Be right back. Hello. So this, I got the large one, and the size difference between the large and the medium, the large is twice as big as the mediums. So it's not like a little bit bigger, it's twice as big. So I got the large, as you can see, in this cute mint green color. And this is where all my physical therapy stuff goes. So if you're wondering what that stuff is, it's just for physical therapy. And then I got a red one. This is the medium size for all my camera stuff. I don't know when this started happening, but I started collecting camera stuff. I've always had a camera. For a while there, they stopped making film, so I would get rid of them. So we got those disposable film cameras, and then I had one of those instant Polaroid cameras, but they stopped making the film, so I got rid of it. Then they came back a few years later. I don't have one now, but I am interested in cameras like these smaller ones that focus automatically and that you can just stick in your pocket and put anywhere, rather than something like this, which a really cool supervisor gave me. He was a photographer in the military, and he had a bunch of amazing lenses, including some colored lenses and just lenses that do really cool effects and stuff. And I've just hung on to them because I love photography. I love the experimentation of it. I've already taken photos with these, so I do know that it works. I'll insert some here if you guys are interested in what I was taking pictures of. I was in Virginia at the time, so it's mostly pictures of the woods. And I got this one. Who gave me this? Or did I find this? I found this at the store, at another thrift store. I'd never heard of this brand before. The thing is, when I took the lens off, because I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like full of dust or something in there, the shutter wouldn't close. And it turns out that the mirror had fallen off inside, and it just needed to be reattached, and then the shutter would close. So it wasn't broken. And that's the thing about when you're shopping at thrift stores, a lot of people get rid of things that they think they can't use or that are broken, and they're not. They just need a little extra care and attention. So I got that, and this is just a little phone stand. I never had one of these, but it really comes in handy, and I was like, why not? And I got this expandable tray for pots and pans to sit in, and I would grab that, except that I would have to take all my pots and pans out of it and reach for it in the under drawer, and I will just take you guys over there so you can see, but I don't feel like picking all that stuff up. So these are my pots and pans. I actually have some iron pans in here that are very heavy, and it still sits upright on its own. So I really like that feature. I was kind of worried that the pans would make it like slide or tip over, but I tested it out on the countertop and it was just fine. So yeah, a little handy thing. So remember when I said I was gonna break this up into 2 parts? Well, after I started talking about the organizational things that I bought and going into some of my favorite vintage and secondhand pieces, I decided to just keep going. In that video, I go more in depth about my favorite vintage, designer, and secondhand finds. I have a few things from each category that I talk about: home decor, kitchen stuff, artwork. So if you guys are interested, that video is coming out in the next couple of days. You know, I go more into depth about what inspires me when I'm at a thrift store, things that I'm noticing in the industry, and kind of my personal philosophies about it. So I just wanted to thank you all for spending your time here with me today. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time.